There's something I would call awareness, or some people might call it God, or whatever it is. There's the sort of universal force that animates, that sort of creates and animates everything. You can kind of, we're running somehow, and we're not plugged into it. We don't have a plug in the wall. There's something that's sort of animating us, but there's also something that's sort of like holding this stuff together too. Even a rock, or even something that's sort of inanimate. There's a universal force that's sort of holding that stuff, animating it, holding it together. And I would say, my experience tells me that our attention, wherever we direct our attention, is a sort of conduit for that creative, sustaining, animating force. Wherever we place our attention, awareness goes. There's actually some science around that lately with quantum physics and all that. There's experiments they've done where, you've heard of that on some level, when we get down to the basic fundamental pieces of matter, that they show up as waves sometimes, and sometimes as particles. Well, there's done some experiments in quantum physics that say that it's not a particle unless we actually, it becomes a particle when we bring our attention to it. Otherwise, it's a wave. But when we bring our attention to it, it turns into a particle. So it's not. So that kind of says to me that wherever we place our attention, it starts to solidify in our reality. It starts to become more solid in our reality. Someone had to like come up with the idea for this microphone, and they had to put attention into it, and here now we have a microphone, but it didn't happen until someone sort of like put their attention on it. Well, with this network care thing, the research that they did, and really network care is really just a way to develop your body's ability to, your capacity for paying attention. And, they found that there's all sorts of health benefits, health, wellness, and consciousness benefits on a number of levels when people do that. There's this Institute of Heart Math. I don't know if anyone's heard of the Institute of Heart Math. They've been like researching for, 25 years or so. They research the heart, basically. And what they found is that there are significant improvements in health, wellness, and changes in people's consciousness just by bringing their attention to their heart center and generating heart-centered emotions. So again, there are some evidence of what I'm saying, that when you bring your attention to something, it changes things, and there are definitely health benefits, but other sort of consciousness benefits. If our attention is a conduit for this awareness thing, the creative force of nature, it's pretty, to say the least, it's pretty important to pay attention to where we're pointing our attention. Because wherever you point it, awareness is going to go there, and awareness, it's going to start to create that. So where is your attention? Is it on, thoughts of lack and things like that? Is it on, where is your attention? A lot of people, most of us, sort of not aware of this fact, and so it's sort of like, I think of like, when you turn on the hose and there's a lot of pressure going through the hose, and the hose does this. It's kind of like we're just kind of like spraying our attention randomly around and not really aware of, where it is, not really conscious of where it is and how, and that can turn into a lot of, there's a lot of unconscious behavior that we engage in, trying to escape from pain and just a lot of unconscious behavior, bad habits that we fall into because we're not really aware of where our attention is going and what the effect of that is on our life and on people around us and on our world. Are we sort of like locked into a lot of folks locked into the television, which I think there's another level worse, because what that does is it actually, not only are we not conscious of where our attention is going, but we sort of like hook into the television and it just directs your attention for you. It just, we get to like, it just takes your attention and does it for you. So all of that creative power of awareness is going wherever the media wants you to go with it. They just take it and do it for you. And whoever's controlling them, I don't know, so something to think about there.